hold on, guys. This could be a big mistake. Mistake? If they could do that to a wall, imagine what they could do to our heads.
For sure. And our heads are nowhere near that.
Figure that.
Turtles.
Yeah, and we didn't make that hole, you wacko.
Oh no.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to another exciting edition of Turtle Talk. As always, I'm your host, Dave Wonder, but I'm not always flying solo here. As you can see in the logo, it's Turtle Talk with Dan and Dave, and of course, we've added Mr. Geeky into that mix too. So, without further ado, I throw it over to my good friend, Mark Dan Bitters.
What is going on, man? How are you? Happy holidays, everybody.
Happy holidays indeed. Also joining us is the man so nice, he named himself twice. The man with lists so long that I'm probably going to have to mute him a couple times tonight. It's Mr. Geeky. He's pretending like he's talking to someone off stream. I can see him in the thumbnail.
Uh-oh.
And it's funny. And there we go. And now, oh, that's me.
You ruined the thing. It's a thing. Hi. Hello, everybody.
Hey, Speaky, what's going on, man?
Hey, good to see everyone again.
God, I love you.
Don't get to do it too often. But happy holidays, everybody. Welcome to the year-end countdown show. Because for the first time in a very long time, there's not really much news on the front lines of Turtles, which is good, considering they've been bombarding us and bludgeoning us over the head.
Been a busy year, yeah.
With everything the rest of the year. Some pre-orders have gone up, but, you know, that's not exactly news. I will say, one thing that I do need to correct from Monday's stream is I did not realize Gundamit in Show Z Store are actually underneath the same umbrella. They are owned by the same people and do the same thing. I didn't know that. So I've ordered from Show Z Store, so I can talk to the quality of their ordering. So yeah, much love to that crew because they do a great job. Also, real quick shout out to the COJ. We got to do a little roll call. We got Nimrodika, who was in here early. Good gravy. Followed by Mr. Geeky, Smokin' Joe, Chris Daughtry. We got Chloe. We got Chew Maniac, Fortnite, Frank, Mike, RoboGeek, Chris Daughtry, Mr. Geeky again, Mr. Allmine, Mixie, Mr. Geeky again. Good lord, man.
You guys are active. What he's doing is reading through the chat. What happened before we went live? You guys are real active before we fire these things up.
Right? Nightmare's in here. We got Mr. Geeky again. 3M5000, Rondo Lorian, Chew Maniac back in it. My goodness, Mike Smunkin, everybody's sounding off. Welcome, everybody. Like I said, tonight is a countdown show. This is our countdown, the best, the worst, the most anticipated, the fantasy. We're gonna run through it all tonight, and only 5, Mr. Geeky.
Well, we'll see.
He plays by his own rules.
I'm so glad I can do this. Uh-oh, Mr. Geeky's muted now.
Oh no, he's not gonna like that.
Oh, snap. Happy birthday, Smunkin. Awesome.
Hey, happy birthday.
Opening a couple goodies. Hell yeah. Oh, happy birthday, my friend. But yeah, so I think, if y'all are okay with it, we'll dive right in.
Yeah, let's rock.
We got a lot of ground to cover tonight.
We've got, if I'm not mistaken, we have 4 we did this recently. We have 4 categories.
Yep, 5 each.
So 5 each.
20 per.
Now we might have some overlap, but assuming we had zero overlap, we're talking about 60 figures going into this thing.
So that's 180 in total.
No.
Isn't
You
it?
took it a
wait,
step
no.
further.
That's right. I went one step further. That's my bad.
Tell me one more time. There's
4
I get you.
categories.
okay,
5
yeah,
for each category.
uh-huh.
So that's 20
And
per. So that's
Okay.
60 figures. I think I went 180 because I assume that's just the list. That's just yours.
That's Speaky has agreed.
Well, but we're not saying 5 in Archie, 5 in Universal Monsters, 5
Nope.
in.
Nope.
Okay, all right. I'm just making sure I'm getting it clear for when you mute me again.
Oh yeah. Oh yes. This is why I came ready with that mute button. Also, real quick shout out because I don't think I gave him a proper shout out. What up, Mitch?
Mitch,
The mod bot with the most. Thank you for
Our
being
hero.
here, friend. Before start Twitch is usually just Mitch, a lonely Mitch. No, you're not alone there.
One of the most important things I think Mitch put in the chat early on was that where is it? Give me a sec.
All the socials?
No, don't care about that.
More of the socials.
Extra Life is still going on.
Oh yes. Extra Life. So it's extra-life.org/participant/Dave Wonder. Go give money to the kids. I'm going to be doing a marathon unboxing stream, probably on Wednesday's episode of Grippin' and Rippin', where I'm not going live for 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour. I'm going to try and go for 4 hours
Oh my goodness.
of
Jeez.
Toy Talk unboxing, little pre-holiday madness there. On top of coming up, the following week is all the countdown episodes, so it's going to be interesting. There'll be some folks stopping on by, so make sure you tune on in. But whoa, holy cow! All the happy birthdays. There we go. All the love. Dave, good at art, bad at the math. Damn straight. 4 years art college, 1 art course, or one math course. Bad at speaking too. And yet, anyways, so I figure let's start off on the bad foot because I
Starting
want
out hot. Okay.
I want to throw a curveball in here because I think there's a lot of good out there with the Turtles. I think there's some absolutely amazing, astonishing product. So let's get the bad shit out of the way. And for instance, this does not mean that these are lesser figures. These do not mean that I don't think anyone can enjoy these figures. This is just personally, at least on my list, were the ones that I picked up and went, nuts.
If you're going to have best, that means that there's some sort of list out there that, a figure comes out on top, number 1, number 2, number 3. Eventually, when you work your way all the way down to the bottom of that list, somebody has to be worst. There has to be an end to that list. So all we're doing right now is talking about the bottom of the least best.
Yes, that's very good. Let's say the least best, not the worst. That sounds better because there's a toy line called The Worst, which is pretty damn cool.
I like that too.
But Mr. Geeky, we're going to start with you, up to Dan, over to me, and then back again. So again, we're going to start off with number 5 of our least
Official
best.
numbers. Look at this.
Okay, all right.
So Mr. Geeky.
Well, So I'm going to make a disclaimer right off the bat here.
God.
So that this, unless otherwise noted, my disappointment isn't on the figure itself, because there's always going to be the part of me that's excited that they're getting any of these released in any form, but more about what didn't come with the figure to give it like a full.
That's fair.
Experience. So, this is like it's hard for me to dislike a toy because it is at the very heart of what it is. It is a toy, and I get to play and or have excitement of having it. So here's what I'll say. I'll start with number 5. Number 5 is Playmates Last Ronin, and with this, it's because of the scale. It's not an issue if this is the first of many that will be continuing in this scale. But otherwise, I was hoping it would have been kept in the same scale as their recent 2-packs, or possibly even in the old style look and feel, so that it could have fit in with the recent releases that we've been having on that end too. That said, if this is the first of many more in this style, then I rescind this. It's a disappointment.
But
Yeah, I
one
also
and
say
done,
bring it
what
on.
are you supposed to do with it? Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my 2 cents on that figure.
All right. What about you, Dan?
I'm going to go on the kind of the same line of thinking that Speaky has here. This one just hit my list because of the scale. I think this is one of the only items on my list that's not NECA. On any list, the least best, the best, whatever it is. That Stranger Things line. I like those. I like the style, but I do not like the scale. I cannot.
They're large.
And because of that, I can't do anything with them. Right? If I'm gonna donate more space to a figure line, it's got to be. I'm not saying everything has to be the same scale, but it's got to be pleasing to my eye, and I can't just add 2 random figures into a line that has many that are the same scale and have 2 that are off. It's just going to throw me off, and I'm not going to like it.
They are big boys,
right?
To say the least. I'm going to start off, and it's kind of in general, because I now have gotten hands on more than just the one that was gifted to me, thanks to a few very generous friends, and they were moved on to Toys for Tots almost immediately.
That's okay. That's a good way to go.
I want to make sure kids have fun with them. But the best action line, it is the Loyal Subjects line of figures. The quality on them, as a collectible, sucks. As a kid's toy that you can kind of bang around, they're pretty good, except for the fact that they can pop apart fairly easy. But, like my 6-year-old has the best action Mikey that was gifted to me, and he's had a ball with it. So I give the credit to it, but as far as because the price has also gone up to now, it's I think $18. I think something like that. It's a lot of money for no bueno. It's no good. So number 5 is the best action line in general. So Mr. Geeky,
that's fair.
Numero 4.
Yeah. I mean, number 4 for me. I will say I don't want to get ahead of myself here because we're thinking similarly on some of that. But number 4 for me is Super 7's Mausers. It's hard for me to say disappointing here because I still absolutely love it and have already repurposed as the Mother Mausers from video games. Like I love that they're bigger size.
Yeah.
But the articulation was minimal. It was less than I was hoping. So they're still
timing wise on those too. It's just it's very unfortunate for Super 7 because they came out right at the same time as the other one did, and the NECA ones, right? Yeah, and the NECA ones are, in my opinion, so good compared to the Super 7 ones. I think if Super 7s didn't come out at the same time, we wouldn't be comparing them straight up. And just because we have that comparison, I agree with that.
Right. Well, and the timing too was I don't they weren't offered. They were not offered at the same time. They were I think it was just that's when they ended up shipping. Was
right.
Yeah. I mean, I like. I'll say this though, I do like the variety in what I have now because I have them from NECA. I have them from Super 7, and I have it's like there's a bunch of different Mausers.
I'll talk about it when I get to that one. Dan, what about you?
I'm going to go very, very general here. This has not happened to me, but mainly because I am very much behind on unboxing all my stuff. But I am in a handful of Facebook groups. I'm in a bunch of message boards, and it feels like every day I'm seeing a new picture of somebody saying, I just took this out of the box, and this is what happened. So I'm going to say any figure that you unbox and immediately is broken. This could be Super 7. This could be NECA. It happens to everybody. But when you open the box and immediately the forearm falls off, or the foot is just still in the package and the entire figure is out of the box. Any time that we have quality control that slips by,
more image. We'll get to the good.
We're getting there. But yeah, anytime quality control slips through the cracks, I'm not a fan.
Right on. My number 4 is also the Super 7 Mausers. I got those in. And the funny thing was, I bought them, I reboxed them, I sold them, and then some very generous anonymous COJ member sent me another box. And I was like, crap. So they sit in the display back there, toddling as they do. I'm very grateful for it. But pretty much everything that Mr. Geeky said, I had some that had blocked joints. I had some that had a busted joint. They have very limited articulation, so it's just a bummer because that retro toy I remember my friend having and me coveting it quite greatly. Of just like, I want to wind up Mouser, crank it up. Like, I thought that shit was amazing. And these being an homage to that, I was like, here we go. So
I wonder too if you could, like, you know how I said it was like the Mother Mauser. I wonder if you could, like, you with your skills. I wonder if you could hollow out, like, take a best action foot soldier and hollow it out. You know, the Mauser to just sit inside of it.
I could. We'll see. I don't know if I want to spend $20 on a foot soldier, or a best action foot soldier. Anyways, so we come back down with numero 3,
Fancy.
Mr. Geeky.
Number 3 for me is the Archie line, and that's only because we aren't getting more of them faster. So one at a, you see what I did there? Yeah, one at a time is incredibly hard. It's hard to wait for these figures when they're this freaking awesome. And I realize there are extra considerations here because we're getting
so many figures,
art on the box for each, and that cast of unique characters is so enormous. It's hard. It's going to be really hard to wait with only one
That
reference.
is such a slippery slope, though. I mean, we were saying that with the cartoon line originally, like, give me more, and then they let the floodgates open, and they gave us more, and they gave us everything, right? So it's a slippery slope. I understand what you're saying, but I'm just saying, give them 6 months, and I think that sentiment will be gone.
Well, or maybe we'll get more of those. Well, okay, I'll get to some of that what I'm talking about there later. But like Jaguar and Dreadmon, for instance, who are going to be after Ray Fillet here soon. Yeah. So I mean, those to me are like a 2-pack, right? So to only get them one at a time, it's
kind of like I think it's like one a quarter almost. I feel like they're pretty spaced out.
Mm-hmm.
But, all right, Dan, what about you?
I don't know if this is going to be controversial or not. I think we've talked about this before. NECA cartoon Neutrino 3-pack.
Oh, big head.
Big head, little body, a little more importantly, smaller feet. You can't display them. To me, it just didn't offer much more than the original figures offered, right? They were too, in my opinion, they were too similar to the original figures versus, like, what am I going to display? What's going to be easier to display? Am I going to achieve the same thing that I'm trying to accomplish by displaying the original 3 neutrinos?
Yeah.
Or do I have to spend $75 on the 3-pack and lean them against a wall?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just it was great to get them, but it's just frustrating once you have them and you're trying to do anything with them. Give me the car, and it's a different story.
I will actually flip-flop my number 2 and my number 3 because neutrinos were number 2 because I had so many issues with my joints on the legs, and the fact that you can't really stand them on their own without their stands was really, really frustrating. And knowing that the neutrinos in the later seasons, they did size down the heads, and it's like you could have just gone with a later look, and you would have had a better figure, I think, because of that. So that is my number 3. So now we're on to the big old number 2.
Deuce.
So I guess you and I were very similar on my number 2 because this was your number 5, I think. The best action figures.
Yeah.
I'll say that first, I love the selection and the scope of the figures that they're putting out, and just my frustration comes with.
Sorry, Mitch put in the chat. Tiny hands smells like cabbage. I don't want to know.
So I mean, I think it's just that increased price point. I mean, when they first started, I agree with you. I mean, that's the thing, and that was the big appeal for me, was that it was like, this is an affordable, this is an affordable amount for either collectors or for kids, and and this would be a great way to get the younger generation into knowing who some of these really cool characters are, the scope of it in a way that they can just play the poop out of them and not have to worry about,
their ideation, like their actual like concepts that they're putting out, really great concepts. Yeah. Like I really dig, like, instead of the really pixelized like video game look where it's just that color scheme imprinted on them, cool. Like I enjoy some of that stuff, but it's like, god dang, that I can't get past their QC. It is the hot garbage.
So that said, I am still collecting them. I'm just, it's hard for me not to. When I see the selection there too, I'm like, they're doing the Street Disguise turtles, right? Like how am I gonna turn that down? But at the same time, I know that I won't get the same playability out of it that I would,
because they're gonna break. I've looked at those Street Disguise turtles several times, and I'm like, cool. Oh no, can't do it. All right, Dan, numero dos.
My number 2, I think, is a figure I don't think that we have discussed ever on this show. I think I've also missed a handful of episodes, so it's possible that I'm wrong there. Pinball Shredder.
Oh, right on.
It's my only gripe with it is that I needed to get it because to me it looked cool. It was a different a route to get figures. It was a different avenue that NECA was exploring with this pinball box. But then you get it, and what do you do with it? It's just another shredder. It's the exact same one that I already have. Did I throw $30 away? What am I doing here? So I think I have 2 of them somewhere. I just haven't done anything with them. I like that it's shiny, but that's about it. Yeah, does it represent something I'm not familiar with?
It's the video game color scheme, like that. Okay. Just but without the video game paint job, which is
without.
It's the pinball version, right? That's why it's the pinball box. Yeah.
Mr. Ryan
I don't need it.
I opened up Best Action Beetlejuice tonight. Looks great, but it has loose knees. I feel ya. Also, Darth Nexus threw in, buy them and leave them in package. You can pretend they're disguising themselves as good toys.
The Beetlejuice or the Beetlejuice? Oh, yeah.
And here comes Michael Keaton. We're doomed. So the swapsies from the neutrinos was Super 7's Sewer Samurai Leo. I opened it up live on a stream, and his neck peg snapped. Right out the gate. His legs were super loose. His accessories were half coming apart. I was very sad because I love that iteration of Leo, and to see what it came out as, I was very bummed because it was just a QC nightmare.
Like I said, most of my figures are still in the box because I'm lazy. Fair. When you have an issue like that where you open it up and it's broken right out of the box, whether it's Super 7 or NECA or anything, have you tried to reach out to any companies when this happens?
I reached out to Super 7 directly and said, hey, this is what's going on. And they said, well, unfortunately, we can't send you a replacement currently. Please touch back with us. And I was like, okay. I know that I could have probably returned it to the shop that I got it from. But my brain was just like, I know how to fix this. Like, sure. I can fix this.
You're you, right?
It'll be fine. It'll go in the display, and I can still pose around with it. But
I'm just talking about for the commoner who doesn't
definitely.
Arsenal of fix-it supplies.
Yeah, reach out to the manufacturer. I mean, for me, it's just it was easier to fix it so that I could utilize it further. And
that's interesting that Super 7 told you we can't help you now, but maybe later.
I think that was in the midst of them, like that was their shipping onslaught where everything was going out.
Okay,
I was like, okay, but there's something to that.
There was like a switch manufacturers too, right? I think.
Yeah, they switched factories between 5 and 6. So 6 was amazing, which you'll see on the best of. So with that, we are at number 1.
All right, so that's me. And yeah, my number 1 was from that same wave, and it was the Super 7 Leatherhead. And that was, I had a similar issue there where it was, I couldn't get the tail in. And I realized that is it's like there's the warming up process. You warm it up and help get it fit in there. But, not everybody knows the tricks. And especially if you're collecting these, you want to be able to put that on your shelf right away. You want to be able to open it up, play around with it, and it's like not I know some of the tricks, but it's still like the idea.
You shouldn't need a handbook just to be able to put your figures together to get them on your shelf.
Yeah, and it's like, especially with Leatherhead, I want to get that guy up there right away. That big chunky, he's great. So it's a beautiful sculpt. It's a beautiful figure. It's like just that not being able to get the tail on was frustrating. So
sure.
All right, Dan.
Okay, number one.
Not a bad idea, Robo.
I don't know if this is my number one least best figure of 2022. This is a saga that's been going on for years at this point, so I'm not even certain that this figure came out in 2022. Loot Crate, we're done with it. Everybody got theirs. Everybody got their Armagon and all 4 boxes now.
I will be unboxing it on Wednesday. I was going to
not my least. No, that is Armagon is not my least one. I want to make sure everybody's on the same page. My least best is that stupid Danny figure.
He's so tiny.
It's so tiny. It's so tiny. If the scale was done right, I guess the half my list is just based on scale here. But if the scale was done right on that Danny, it would be a next level figure. It'd be the licensing on the shirt, the likeness of the figure. I think it looks great if he's not standing anywhere near any of the rest of the line. But the moment you put him near anybody, it totally defeats the figure.
Oh, my psycho ass lengthened the legs and
I know, but that's because you have a toolbox of fix-it skills. Yeah,
but it was that thing of I didn't even think about that figure for this list because I'm
I see, because it's not a problem for you, right?
Yeah, well, because I look over and I literally was sitting here staring at my display for 20 minutes before this because I lost my sheet of paper and I'm like, chit, trying to come up with this.
Was that 2022? Did Danny come out this year?
I
think technically yes.
Okay, I'll take it. We'll leave it at that.
It's been a long year. I wonder too, though. I wonder if they'll ever have Danny. Just a second. My son just came down here.
Sure. See any thoughts on this Danny figure? Does he also hate it?
No.
I wonder if they'll re-release in the main line as the 2-scale Danny, and then that will just be almost like a short snoot versus long snoot Gorindan situation, right?
Yeah.
Where,
I guess, but I feel like that would piss people off even more.
Well, but it might, but their Danny that they got that's a shorter Danny might end up being, that much more collectible because it's.
Does it go for anything? I don't even know.
It goes for a bit.
Okay.
My number one is actually also a Loot Crate figure, and it's the Mutant Shredder.
Okay.
I love that design. I love that character. And I don't, maybe it was just mine. My figure was so locked up and unposable, and because the feet are stumps, they come down, and it's the aesthetic, it matches his aesthetic of how it comes down, and it's a stunning silhouette, but it was that thing of you can't do anything with them. And it's this exclusive figure, which is what it should have been. I totally agree with that, which is why I'm very nervous about the fact that we saw the other 2 Mutant Shredders, and I'm like, oh shit, where are these coming up? But yeah, so that would be my number one. But this is by far the most negative thing I think I've ever done.
Yeah, I was gonna. This isn't like us, right? We don't like talking negative on here.
Which is why I wanted to start out with this so that we can move on.
There you go. Let's forget about it.
Because that's what we're about here. We're about creating a positive environment in the collector community. So we are going to start out from number 5 and work our way up to number 1. So, Mr. Geeky, what is your number 5?
But which one now are we talking about?
We're going best, baby.
Oh, the best. Okay, so of the best, I had my favorite was Archie Slash. It is a fan. I mean, there's just everything about this, right? From the box to the character itself, which is just I don't know, it's sitting right above me here, just overlooking me. I have over by the ooze. Sitting right behind it, just like his comic appearance, right? It's such a fun figure. The accessories were great. The prospect of getting a belly bomb to come up next to him down the road here, it has me very excited. Yeah, it's just looks like it jumped right out of the page. It's fantastic.
All right, Dan.
My number 5 it's another Loot Crate figure. We're nailing these right off the bat. It's a Scrag. Now,
right on.
I don't necessarily love the figure, right? I think it's a fine figure. I don't have any problems with it. I don't necessarily love the character. I love what it represents in that Scrag is by no means a main character. Scrag is by no means a secondary character. Scrag is not bottom of the barrel, but he's definitely between second tier character and bottom of the barrel. By including Scrag in this line, that means we can get anything. Nothing is off the table. And I think we knew this before, but with Scrag, I think that definitely solidifies it, that he represents that anything is going to be possible with this cartoon line.
Oh, hell yeah.
100%.
Gets me excited.
And my number 5 actually was going to match up with Mr. Geeky's with the Archie Slash. However, mine broke. The hip broke on it. I fixed it, but I have a rule whenever I do top lists. If I had to fix it or customize it,
Get him out of there.
it sits off to the side. It's still a great figure, and it bums me out to have to basically disqualify him. So my number 5 goes to this beautiful boy.
Yeah, great call.
Look at him. The figure's so nice. I bought him thrice. It's just. This is a figure that I've wanted since I was a little kid.
I think that's the biggest deal, right? That's the figure that we never got. That was like the top of our list from like childhood, where for the casual fan, right? The casual fan who had the Burger King tapes, and he's synonymous with the video games. If you wanted a figure that we never had access to, and you never had an alien that you could just substitute in for this thing, that was the top of our list. That's a great call.
God dang. Yeah, so my number 5 goes to the NECA Pizza Monster. I love this figure. I love him so much. I tried to put him in the kitchen, and my wife said, absolutely not. I was like, but he's a pizza monster. Logic. So
I don't even think about that. Like the figure the way it is, it's scaled the way it is, it's either to scale as like the giant one when you put them with your figures, or if you put them in your kitchen, it's to scale with the mini ones. Yeah, that's great.
See, and the funny thing is I have 2 in the display over there, and then one has been riding the top of the turtle van since I moved that over there. And I absolutely love it. The figure is I literally, the funny thing was, a month before it was announced, I made a custom one off of I can't even think of the name of the company. But they do the kind of like cheaper versions of figures that are in Walmart. So they did Aliens and Predators and all that stuff. I'm
great line.
On it. Huh?
Great line, yeah.
Oh, yeah, fantastic line. And I bought a couple of the white xenomorphs, spray painted them yellow, sculpted out the top, painted them up, detailed them, and that was that. And then they announced it. I'm like, ha, shit. So Oliver has my 2 custom pizza monsters, and he plays with them all the time. So, with that being said, what is your number 4?
Me, right? I started.
Lantern Toys. Thank you, Smunkin. Fantastic figures.
My number 4 is Super 7 Ray Fillet. It's. I was really impressed. I mean, it was. I liked the feel of his, like the back. I'm right behind you. I like the feel of the back part there. My only complaint with it is that there wasn't like a swap to be able to swap out the chest for a different color.
That'd been cool.
But I mean, it makes. But you know what? This guy makes up for that. The fact that like his little buddy that now is like in full color and has it's fun.
That was one of those things that made me go, oh god dang. Bomb strapped up. Okay, all right, sweet. All right, Dan.
I think we're going to be talking about these lists or this line of turtle figures a lot in the upcoming list and possibly the rest of this list. My number 4 is Mummy Mike from the Universal Monsters.
Hey,
dude, that is a fantastic figure. The detail, I think all the Universal Monsters are fantastic. It is literally my kid's favorite toy line. Not even turtles, just of all. He just yelled, "Yeah, it is." So yeah, I love that Mummy Mike. I love what they're doing.
Hell yeah.
Hi, buddy.
I would. How fun would it be if we got like other versions of the turtles in that like as full on mummies for that reason of being able to have like
That'd
zombie.
be great.
Oh, dude, the thing that I would absolutely love is if the next like waves and stuff, they basically gave us remasters of the OG lines. Like,
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
Go the full one. I will say for my number 4, I caught some shit for this. So once again, it's kind of a swap out because my number 4 was going to go to Spring. I was told by many people, they're like, it's not Leonardo. I'm like, I know, that's why he's not Leonardo. He's Spring. I absolutely love this figure. He is a tiny little bundle of energy and joy and detail and awesomeness. Why?
Looks amazing.
To the naysayers who are like, well, it's not an official turtle product. First off. Second off. Number 4 goes to Mummy Mikey.
There you go.
And technically to the whole monster line, just because it's been so fun. That's all I can't put into words how neat this thing is. Super, super dope. Again, it was kind of it was not Leo or Mummy Mike, but if you got to go with official turtle stuff, Mummy Mike would be my number 4. If we can throw in them sweet third-party goodies.
This is turtle talk, and it's a turtle figure.
It's not Ninja Turtle talk. It's just turtle talk.
I pulled a Mr. Geeky there because I'll have you note we're at number 4, and I've done 4. Are you proud of me, Mr. Geeky? Are you proud?
You did well. You've done well here. I approve.
Quick aside. Speaking of the Universal Monsters, I'm trying to think of other crossovers that have been linked to not even just Turtles, but like other toy lines.
Oh, Star Trek.
Yeah, Star Trek and Turtles. I mean, there's been a bunch with Turtle stuff. Turtles did. They had Ghostbusters. They had wrestlers.
Yep.
Do other lines do crossovers? I don't think nearly as much as Turtles do, right?
I think Turtles has been a front runner for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at Hasbro has done G.I. Joe Fortnite, like the Fortnite Snake Eyes that's coming out. They've done a couple. If I remember correctly, there's a couple Fortnite variants of figures from Hasbro now.
Okay.
That would be the closest thing that I can think of.
Well, that's kind of like how it started out too, right? I mean, it's that they are a parody of become its own thing, but they're it's like
true.
It's Daredevil, this is Ronin, this is this,
Okay, that's good. I was gonna say like Marvel never does crossovers with their stuff, not like figure stuff.
No. I mean, you know what? You know what also was Turtles this year with a crossover? Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Exactly.
Yeah, and Stranger Things, they combined. I mean, it wasn't like a crossover, but it was at least included in the
Batman. I mean, there's they do.
And Batman. That's what I'm saying. There's a ton of them with just Turtles.
Transformers. Good call, G.I. Joe Transformers. Which I mean, they're both Hasbro properties. But
Transformers does a lot though. That's a good call. Like Transformers did Marvel too.
Ghostbusters did Transformers too, didn't they? There was an Ecto one.
Transformers might be up there. Transformers does Star Wars.
The Street
Star
Fighter
Wars does Disney.
Yeah, it's
Street Fighter with Turtles.
Turtles are definitely front runners, though. No question. Yeah. I don't think there's a property that wouldn't be on the table at some point, which is awesome. Fantastic.
Okay.
And if you want a really good look at some of the things that could have been, go check out Rad Plastic by Fawcett. It's amazing. But that's enough from me. Now we go to number 3.
Right,
Mr. Geeky.
Okay, so here I'm gonna as I'm saying this, my number 3, I'm also gonna be thinking about who my number 2 is going to be because I also had Spring. So that I'm saying it because it's no longer my number 2, even though it's really hard to say that because it's a great figure. So 3 is Scrag, and it is for the same reason that Dan was saying. It's like it opens up so many more doors here. This is a figure that I have. I like to think I'm not in the minority here, where people who remembered Scrag, but I've found over the years that it was the case. So the thing is Scrag is was a great character. It was kind of a character that had been not had the limelight that he probably should have had. It was a fun him and the whole gang, right? That Bebop and Rocksteady's whole mutated being.
And they're all coming.
We'll talk more of that too. But the thing is like I have to imagine that the intent was not to use them again. Well, right? Considering who got the mutant treatment and who didn't. So I think it's really fun to have that. I like that it opens up a lot of doors. His head looks a little different than I remember, but I'm not gonna.
He was drawn a couple different ways, though. I mean, if you look at his appearances in the cartoon, it's like, okay, like
right. There is his head does look like one of those images where it's a little bit more squashed, and that's it's gonna be what it's gonna be, and if we get it in, I realize not everybody's going to have the Scrag too, because that was part of the Loot Crate. So maybe we'll have, if they're releasing the other figures, the other mutants in the main, maybe we'll have another version of Scrag there too.
Speaking of Loot Crate, now that we're done with it, now that we've gotten all of our boxes, and it's been this long journey filled with drama to get here. If tomorrow NECA announced another Loot Crate,
nope,
with 4 more boxes, you don't jump on? You don't order?
No, I'll wait. Like,
just buy them secondary?
Yeah.
I think that there is going to be something along the lines of Loot Crate. We talked Dave and I talked a while back about this, but it was probably something closer to along the lines of like the NECA their team, what was it? The NECA collector's line. That do you remember the name? You know what I'm talking about.
Oh wait, sorry, I was reading Hankins. Spring counts in my opinion. I can't wait to get mine. I got Crocker yesterday. I'm still waiting on Crocker, but yeah, sorry.
They used to have like a NECA collector.
Club NECA.
Exactly. Yeah, Club NECA. I feel like we'll probably have something along those lines, where it'll still be the specialness to it. I mean, that to me is like with the Loot Crate stuff that we got. The figure itself is awesome, but it was also all the other stuff that came with it that made it the experience, right? And like, there's such cool stuff that came with that. Like, even I don't want to do spoilers for people who haven't seen their newest one yet, but there's some in this new one that is just like, oh my gosh, this is so much fun. Yeah,
I would absolutely, in a heartbeat, I would absolutely sign up for a Loot Crate if they announced it tomorrow. And I apparently I'm in the vast minority with that statement. We paid for 4 boxes. They didn't give us a time, as far as I know, they didn't give us a specific timeline as when we were going to get them.
They did.
Okay, then I just don't care. I'm so used to pre-orders and not getting stuff right away that I just don't care. I gave them the money, they delivered on it, and we're done.
I think if they did less of the Loot Crate model and more of the Club NECA model of, hey, we have these exclusive figures, and it was just, hey, this is what they are. This is when they're coming. Here, like, sign up. Yeah, then I do it. The Loot Crate.
What if they don't have the second part? What if they don't tell you when they're coming?
If they could even say quarterly. Like if they said first quarter, second quarter, third quarter.
What if they don't tell you when they're coming?
I don't think I could do it then. Like I'm fine with pre-orders and stuff, but I imagine also if it was the individual figures as compared to the Loot Crate boxes with all the different items in it, I think it would be much more streamlined. So if it were more that model, I think I would more so go for if it was the just figures. But with the Loot Crate model of it being a bunch of random stuff thrown in there too, I don't think I would do it. That's just my opinion.
More for me. It'll be easier to get for me. And then when I have to resell everything, there'll be even less on the market for me to make more money on. Sounds
fair enough. So wait, we're on number 3, right?
Oh, it's mine because he just his Scrag got us on this topic.
Yes.
Usagi Yojimbo, NECA. Unbelievable ultimate, deluxe, whatever NECA calls their single. Yes, that figure right there. Unbelievable figure. I've always loved this character. Going back to I can only go back to the original cartoon and the original figure. I don't go back to his original cartoon. Is that what he was from? The comic book?
Original.
Comic book. Okay, see, I'm not familiar with any of that stuff.
Okay.
I just loved him in the old cartoon. I loved him in the old figure was one of my favorites back in the day. And to have this deluxe one with all these accessories and to be, it just looks fantastic. He's a cute little bunny. It's normally I'm a big fan of big chunky guys, right? Big thick guys, gorillas and big Crocker and that kind of stuff. Not this guy. The cute little bunny. Sign me up.
Hell yeah. My number 3, I guess you could say, goes to the 2-packs, but I will give it specifically the Secret of the Ooze, Michelangelo.
I need to find these things, man.
With his combat cold cuts, the weapons that aren't weapons but are totally weapons, the head sculpt, the holsters, the overall like modded bodies and everything. I opened these up. I opened them up on a stream, and now I'm blanking when I did it. But
it's a great pose.
They're brilliant.
Great pose.
I've had so much fun. He has sat on the desk. I moved him over to the display for like a day, and then I grabbed him and I was posing him around. But he's so excitable. He's exactly what I remember from the movie.
Right.
And that makes me incredibly happy. So yeah, my number 3.
Good call. I need to find that figure. Did he come with the cold cuts, or is that part of the accessory pack?
No, he comes with the cold cuts.
He does. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Because these are the two packs. Because I had a thing of like, oh, your 4-pack is delayed or something, and then it was like, oh, it's shipped. And then I've been like checking the shipping, and I haven't seen any movement in like a week and a half.
That's fun. Yeah.
I'm like, Anyway, without no further ado, we go to number 2. So, Mr. Geeky.
Yeah. So, all right. So, my original was Spring, the not Leonardo. But I'll go with Rock Soldier Infantryman in the Crooked Gang Goon.
Right.
Really?
I really like that. I mean, it's between that or Smash and Zack, right? I mean, it's because it just fulfills the same thing for me, which is that building out the mythos more, building out the expansion more of possibilities there. And we never have had the Crooked Gang in Turtle Gang in this in any form. So it's like it's like basically looking at me when I was a kid. exact same deal.
Run around.
Yeah.
How about how nice of NECA it was to put the 2 army builders in the same 2-pack?
Yeah, that was handy.
That's not a business decision. You know what I mean? Like the business decision is to pack that with like a Michelangelo and the other one with a shredder.
Yeah.
It's
see, and
great move.
My only thing would be is if they did 2 Crooked Turtle gang members and 2 Rock Soldiers, and that was
okay.
Like,
you could focus on one or the other, sure.
Yeah, but I think this was a good.
You had to choose between one way or the other way.
There still is another Rock Soldier look, so we could potentially get that at some point down the road too with another Turtle Gang move, maybe.
NECA needs to hire you, Speaky. Just list off all your fucking knowledge in the conference room. Who are we missing this week?
He has connections.
My number 2. That's where we're at, right? I just mentioned him. He's not official NECA. He's not official Super 7. He's not official Ninja Turtles. He's not even a turtle. It's my number 2 best turtle figure is a crocodile. Give me that Crocker.
Hell yeah.
I still don't own the thing. It's on my Christmas list. But as soon as I get it, he's going to take the spot in one of these cubes behind me. I love the look of that guy.
Dude, I'm waiting. I'm waiting.
Are a lot of people getting Crocker now? Because I ordered it too. I haven't gotten it either, but I'm like...
a lot of people who ordered it from overseas have already gotten it. I think I ordered mine through BBTS. So I'm just kind of waiting on them to get their stuff.
Did you just get one, or did you get both versions of the Crocker? There's
he's a beefy boy. I've Billy Mahoney, aka Bill Maru, the toy comic, busted his open on a Wednesday, and ooh-wee, that figure, my goodness. I was like, I just need to reach through here real quick.
Borrow that real quick
because it's real nice. But yeah. So all right. Wait, we got number 3 or 2? No, we're on number 2.
Number 2. What's your number 2?
My number 2, Usagi Yojimbo.
Hey, there you go.
which I'm pretty sure, I think the files actually finally went through. I wrote a lovely toy review that will be popping up in an awesome magazine soon.
Oh, that's great.
Mr. Usagi. So, this figure rules. The accessories, the stature, the articulation, chef's kiss. This rules. I love it. I literally have had him sitting right on my desk, and he just chills out. And again, another one of those. I mean, I have a lot of figures around here, but he is a standout faux show.
Great figure.
So, but yes, we aren't quite done because we move on to number one. So, Mr. Geeky, what is at the top of your list, my friend?
Well, I'm pulling a Dave Wonder here, and I'm doing a 4-pack.
What?
I'm taking your cue. I got the Premutation 4-pack.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, this is every single one of those characters is someone who I've wanted to have, and it's like, boop, there you go, you get all at once. They are they're fun. It was like we got a bunch of accessories that came with it also, but it's like having human versions of these characters I know that I'm going to want to show that mutation process. So this is
Yeah, I think fun is the best way to sum up that 4-pack. It's great. They have a great look. They come with a bunch of stuff. And it's just figures that I don't think it's 4 figures that it was not a guarantee we were going to get any of them. And the fact that we got all 4, knocked out in one swing, it was great.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I'm looking at the rest of the gang, and I'm like, well, there's 4 of them. Uh-oh. But yeah. Anyways, solid, super solid pick, Mr. Geeky.
Yeah, good call.
Dan.
Yeah, mine's going to be quick. Mine got disqualified off of your list, Dave. Mine was number 5 on your list. Speaky, I've got Comic Slash.
Yeah.
I say this as a guy who has not read one single word of the comics. I have zero interest in the comics other than Mutanimals. I'm going to talk about that later. But Comic Slash, just the look of this guy. I like this look better than the Super 7. I like this look better than the NECA. I like this look better than the video game one. I love this look of Slash. Fantastic. I cannot wait to pick this guy up.
Hell yeah. He's a beefy boy.
I'll say this. I think the only other Slash that would be as excited for this Archie Slash is if we got IDW or 2012.
Oh yeah.
So that's so maybe soon. Hopefully soon.
my number 1 is near and dear to my heart.
That makes sense.
That's
a great shirt. Jeez,
it goes to Super 7 Sewer Surfing Michelangelo.
Nice.
This is one of my favorite vintage figures of all time. This is one of my favorite figures of the year. He makes me so happy. Like I am grinning like an idiot by just holding this at this moment. His board is super solid. I love that he has that his glasses.
Oh, I didn't know he had that. That's cool.
But yeah, he has the ankle wrap. You can also put it on his wrist if you really want.
When you display him, you have him displayed holding the board like you had it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I futz with him around with him.
Sure, but when you have him like that, where he's holding the board in front of him, does that kill any part of it for you because he covers up all the fun stuff?
No, because the board's friggin' fun, man. It looks like
the board's iconic. I'll give you that. Yeah.
Fruit snacks. For me, I mean, the thing is the way that I usually have them, and it fell, of course, right before I got this going. Is I had it looking like he was licking the board. I thought that was funny. And this is how he chills out in the display. The funny thing is, this is not the only one of this figure I have. I had a very good buddy of mine. Sorry, I dropped his glasses. A very good friend of mine actually sent me another one. And so I have that one that actually is upstairs in the living room. And I'm debating, I kind of want to repaint one of these as the Sewer Tubin Leonardo. which is like one of my Grail vintage figures. And spoiler alert, I might have a lead on one, which I'm very excited about.
Nice.
But yeah, Sewer Surfing Mikey, one of my all-time favorites. Like, I've loved that figure since I was a little kid. The Super 7 one is pitch perfect. It was with the new factory. The articulation's there, the details there, the options are there. The fact that you can swap those heads onto the Wave 3 Michelangelo. I have mine straddling the turtle cannon still from when I took the picture that just said hashtag art. But yeah, no, that figure rules. So that is my number one. With that, we've wrapped up our top 5 best of the year 2022. But let's look ahead and let's go with our top 5 most anticipated announced figures for the year 2023. So these are figures that have been revealed. These are figures that have been shown at various shows. We have proof of concept.
Yeah, it may not be 2023, but they're at least proven to be in production at some point.
Yes. So without further ado, we'll go down to Mr. Geeky with number 5.
Okay. My number 5 is Wingnut and Screw Loose from Super 7. I saw that image and the promo image, and it's like they captured the Archie, Batman, and Robin kind of look to that. If you remember, there's like an iconic look where, it's just very. It's a little different than what we're used to with Wingnut and Screw Loose, and I love that that's the direction they went with this, because it's like I saw him in the cape, and it's like how we never had him in the cape before, because it just looks phenomenal.
Right.
It's I'm really excited for it. I know it's going to be huge. I know it's going to take up a lot of my space, and I'm happy to have it take up that space.
It's a big boy. That's
Yeah.
damn sure. All right.
Have we
Dan.
seen pictures of his, what do you call the little animals that come with him? The
Screw
buddy?
Loose?
Yeah. Have we seen pictures of Screw Loose?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's got kind of a Robin mask.
Oh, that's cool. Okay. I need to look that up. Okay. My number 5 would have been higher if you would have asked me this a week ago.
Oh.
This was it was teased for months ago, and then we finally got confirmation this past week. Kino, from the movie line.
Mm-hmm.
We finally got confirmation, and we saw a render.
We saw the initial thing was like a teased render. Then we saw him, like Ernie Reyes, with the figure going. Yes. And then we saw the actual render on the like announcements, the days of 12 days of downloads from NECA.
Oh, yeah, so that's what it was.
Full color render.
So very excited to get Kino and his pizza bike. Not loving the way the render looks 100%, but it's also a render, so maybe things change. Just once I saw the render, my and I have problems with this word every time we talk about
anticipation.
Anticipation. It doesn't sound right. It went down a little bit once I saw the render. So hopefully it surpasses my expectations.
She's coming. Collect with Chris. Don't worry. Mona Lisa's coming. My number 5 is because it's another Grail figure that I hope to someday track down, but for now, I think it will gladly hold a fantastic place because I already have the sculpt once, and that is the Super 7 Metal Warrior Mikey, coming out, and I believe it's Wave 8 of Super 7 Turtles. That is the chromed out metal head to look like Mikey. I always thought it was super cool as a kid. Legit, earlier this year, it was a 1-2-3 punch because I said, I always thought that was cool looking. I always wanted to get one, but I've never seen one in person. And then my buddy got one and had it for sale in person. It was just way the hell out of my league. And I said, damn, that was really cool, though. And then Super 7 announced it the next day. And I was like, all right, that was a roller coaster of emotions. But Metal Warrior Mikey takes my number 5.
Great figure.
So we move on to number 4. Mr. Geeky.
I thought I put Gorilla on here. Okay, well, let's keep it. That's also on my list, but I'm going to go with my number. Oh God, this is hard. Okay, number 4 for me is Dreadmon and Jaguar, right. And I'm claiming that as one because it should be a 2-pack, as I said before.
I was gonna say, that's the figure down there. That's Metal Mike. That's the original vintage Metal Mikey.
Yeah,
that's rad. Sorry, props, Jamie. Props.
Yeah. I mean, Jaguar and Genron are two characters I've wanted since I was a wee lad, a little kid, and it's just like having those finally being able to complete out the Mutanimals just before we're gonna have all of the NECA versions of Mutanimals. I mean, it's like it's just delicious. It's wonderful.
Delicious.
Yes.
What a word.
Yes. All right, Dan.
My number 4. It's not a 2-pack, but I mean it's 2 figures. I just couldn't figure out where to put these guys. I'm just excited for the Casey Jones, the Splinter, Casey as Phantom of the Opera, Splinter as Van Helsing. Just the more of the Universal monsters. I'm leaving one off this list because I'm going to get to it later. But these 2, I didn't want one more than the other one. I talked about how much this line means to my kid. And I just like the way they look. I think they display great around Halloween or just any other time of year. I love this line. I hope they keep it going.
Hell yeah. Oh man, my number 4. Again, kind of a tie also because we don't necessarily know officially how we're getting them. I think they've come out and said that it will be some sort of deluxe figure. But it is Officer Rex and Mac from the animated toy line. I legit was like looking up because I've seen artwork for what is supposed to be the package, so I'm assuming they're going to be 2 deluxe figures. But I've seen people say, "Oh, it's going to be a 2-pack of robots." I'm like, "It's not going to be a 2-pack of robots. They weren't in the same episode together." Oh, do you know, Mr. Gee?
I maybe do.
Okay. Well, so, for the sake of generalities, I'm going to put them sweet Toon robots at my number 4 for most of it.
Do it.
I don't want to get Mr. Geeky in trouble.
That's a good idea.
With that, we'll talk afterwards, Mr. Geeky. With that, we'll go to number 3.
My number 3 is Space Usagi. This is first one we've seen fully as part of NECA's What If. We saw the last Ronin in that Fred Wolf style too, but this is the one we got to like see fully, it's exciting to me what this means. It's exciting to me that they're kind of like, this was off of the look and feel of the never made animated cartoon that also would have been Fred Wolf. So what's fun to me about this is like if we can tap into some of those other characters also, there are some neat ones there, but also just in general, if they can do this with this, that means that in theory this kind of opens up a lot of doors here.
That's exciting. I didn't even think about that, but that is absolutely exciting. Just what is this? Again, the potential of having nothing off the table and everything being possible in this cartoon line, I think that's very exciting. I didn't even think about that for this list, but yeah, that's a great call. Yeah,
well, right, characters that should have been in the cartoon that we never got, like someone like Panda Khan is an example, where it always felt like it was in the cartoon, and it
apparently has a new cartoon coming out soon. Panda Khan.
Really? Is there that big of a Panda Khan following that it needed a cartoon in 2022?
Kung Fu Panda did gangbusters, just saying.
I'll be the first to say it. We need a Tora cartoon too. Tora from the video game.
Tora, Ninjara. Let's go. Fugitoid needs his own show.
Sure.
Anyways, Dan, what is your number 3?
Number 3, finish off the Universal Monster line. Very, very excited to get that 4th turtle. Give me that Invisible Donnie.
Hell yeah.
The Invisible Man Donnie he's that 4th piece, right? We've got the Hunchback Leo. We've got the Frankenstein Raph. We've got the Mummy Mike. We just need that Donnie. I am waiting and waiting. When is it supposed to come out? Do we know?
I think that's first quarter this year, or this next year. It's coming out quick.
Yeah, can't wait. That was I was hoping it was going to be a Christmas present for Connor, but at this point, it doesn't seem to be that way.
Pantsless Splinter is shipping now.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll keep an eye out for that.
Sorry, I know he is Van Helsing, but to me, he will always be Pantsless Splinter. There we go. I've hit that point in the night, folks. So My number 3 goes to Kino. I'm very excited. I don't know if I can say anything that hasn't already been said. I'm excited for the big flippy bike. I'm very excited for him in his pizza delivery outfit. The cool thing is you can use it in whatever display you like, but I'm gonna have him fighting right alongside them turtles, probably kicking Danny's ass. Uh, so, well,
Just 5-on-1.
just
4 turtles and Kino against a
it's
midget.
Dan now, huh? But give it back my pocket. But yeah, that is my number 3. Now we move on up to number 2, Mr. Geeky. Where are you at?
I'm gonna do something weird here, and I'm gonna double this up because they're both big enough
Robo Geek?
figures. What's that?
I say Night to Robo Geek.
Oh, good night. Okay, so my number. What did you say? There's 2, right? Number 2.
Geeky's going off the rails here.
All right, Colossus of the
They're
Swamp,
funky. None of them
Napoleon. So you know,
Yeah.
Hulk Napoleon, basically.
Yeah.
And Gorilla.
Just because they're 2 giant guys. It's not even the same line.
I'm trying to make this good. I know they are from one's from NECA, one's from Super 7. They're both going to be a normal.
Oh, good. The mute button works. No. Sorry.
What a stretch.
Gorilla. All right.
Oh, man. You're
Napoleon. I don't want to spoil anything, so I'm gonna say that's all I'm gonna say on that. Other than this, looks gorgeous and it looks really good.
End the stream now so we can pick his brain off air.
Yeah.
And Gorilla is like one of those things where same as Space Usagi, where we're getting potentially to be able to get into some concept characters here.
Mm-hmm.
So this is like the Super 7 end of things where we're getting to potentially where NECA's doing that with Space Usagi. NECA's doing Super 7 is doing that. We're getting some of these potentially concept characters, which is awesome. Yeah,
I got you. All right, Mr. Dan.
Number 2, I would like to be able to finish my display. Not finish, but at least get it situated, right? And I'd like to have my big set pieces in place so then I can start placing figures around it. I can't do that until I have this 3-foot NECA turtle van that's coming to us.
Ooh, right on.
I cannot wait to get that van so we can start building my display around the thing.
I thought you were going with the dioramas, but I suppose we don't have any concrete.
Yeah, but that's not concrete yet. And that's too big. The van is going to be big enough. But yeah, I can't wait to get the van. Inside, outside, I think it's going to be game changing for guys. Displays, both negative and positive. Like I think it's going to be a breathtaking piece. But a lot of guys display their stuff in shelves like Speaky has with the cubes, or in the Detolfs like behind you in the glass cases. And that thing, that turtle van is not going to fit in either one of those. So I'm curious as to what a lot of guys are going to do.
It's right there.
I know, but it's not in the. You've got a lot of real estate there. Some people don't have all that. So it'll be interesting what people do to. I'm always interested to see how people display their stuff. And I feel like we're going to be getting a lot of pictures. Hey, here's how I displayed mine. Here's how I displayed mine. So excited to see what people do and excited to figure mine out.
My number 2 goes to an obscure character that probably means jack shit to most people. But when I saw it on the San Diego Comic-Con reveal, it legitimately made me giggle like a small child. Because at some point, I will finally have a Bugman figure. I am so damned excited for Bugman. He is Michelangelo's favorite superhero, and by proxy, he became one of mine. A total fictional clusterbuck of a character, and I love him so. So yeah, Bugman goes with that. Also, Mitch, thank you for tossing that out there. If you want a really nice diorama or heavy set piece, go check out Made 1979 Customs on Etsy or Instagram. He makes fantastic stuff. Hashtag not sponsored. I just happen to own some of his work, and it's fucking gorgeous. But yeah, with that, we go to the big numero uno. I am excited and nervous about this because I feel like Mr. Geeky's going to be going for a minute. All right, Mr. Geeky, you get one.
Oh, do I? Well, so here's my number one. It's the rest of Bebop and Rocksteady's Mutant Gang and Jersey Red. Because it counts.
Gotcha.
And Jersey Red. Yeah, because that's,
it's all in one.
Yeah, it's all one. And I mean, like, it's like, holy moly, we're getting so many incredible reveals here that came out this year, and to have this entire gang is like, oh
yeah,
yes.
Wait, it's like what? Somebody, for the love of God, make a clip of that and send it to me. It's becoming a gag on this show.
You're gonna,
Oh, couple that with his delicious comment earlier. This is an all timer right now. Oh, no, it's a good call. I think that's viable. I think that's fine. I think it's a good pick. It's better than your number two. Your justification for number two is obscene. I have to kind of play by your rules here. My number one is along the same lines. I am most excited for I don't want to say 2023 because I don't know when any of these figures are coming out. But I'm most excited for these figures to come out together, and it's a line I have zero knowledge on. It's a line that I have zero history with, but I couldn't be more excited for it. Literally top of my list for those Mutanimals to come out.
Yeah,
the Stingray, the other two I don't even know their names yet. The paper trade back. I messaged you about it the other day, just trying to figure out which one it was. That talks about the Mutanimals, where that has the entire Mutanimal story in it. That's on my Christmas list. I need to get that. I need to start reading that to Connor for bedtime, and we are going to do our homework on Mutanimals.
Now Tussler shows up.
Oh, get him in here.
He has the link.
All right, Tussler, get in here. Help me preach about Mutanimals with me. I cannot wait for this line. I just think they're so colorful and so fun, and they remind me a little bit of Disney Adventures, which was a comic book that I did read when I was a kid. Yeah. It reminds me of the comics that were in there. Sure. I absolutely cannot wait for Mutanimals.
Mirage Splinter.
Well, I'll say this too. I mean, first of all, they are awesome, and that series ended way too soon. But that's another thing. Kind of just tapping into what you're saying with Mutanimals. With the Space Usagi in the last run, theoretically, there was there's supposed to be an animated Mutanimals show, and there was also supposed to be a spin-off, kind of the Selected. So in theory, I don't know. I mean, there might be some licensing going on there, but potentially we could see an expansion of Mutanimals within this.
Right,
that'd be great. Sure, anything to make it easier for me to learn about what these things are.
And I'm going to throw this out there. First off, honorable mention for this list goes to the upcoming Lawson Turtles and the Mirage Splinter, but I have many questions about those figures, which is why they didn't make this list. Also, for the top 5 best, honorable mention goes to Scratch, just because it was my buddy Alex, aka Fan Plastic, for his first official sculpt, and that was friggin' awesome.
Congrats,
and it legit came in at number 6 for me. So
great figure too, yeah.
Oh, it's a fantastic figure.
Yeah.
But my number one, gonna pull a Mr. Geeky, because I'm going all the Archie toys. Yeah!
All of them.
All of them. I don't care what they release in the Archie brand of turtles, because, god damn it, I'm in for all of it. The Mutanimals, hell yeah. The turtle, yes sir. Like, let's get everybody. Let's get the weird future turtles. Let's go down that route, and we'll get to more of that in our fantasy booking, which is coming up next. But I had to get that in there because, gosh dang it,
I can't believe they're doing it. It's been those were announced and released this year, right?
This was announced and released this year.
Yeah,
Flash was, and
the entire line. I mean, everything that we know about it. There was no talk of it in 2021, right?
Yeah, this came out of nowhere.
That's awesome.
February. So yes, my number one is the Archie brand, because I could say the Mutanimals because that's what we know is coming, but the fact that there is. I will argue also that the Turtles in Disguise, you could almost like lend those over to Archie-esque Turtles because of their faces. But if we get like, anyways, I digress.
There's a bunch of fun disguises they have from the Archie series too.
God, yeah. But so we are on to our final list, folks. As I said, we're doing a little fantasy booking. For those that aren't aware of that term or a fan of wrestling, we are going to book our top 5 most wanted figures, and for the sake of Mr. Geeky, or lines, for the Turtle brand as a whole. So once again, we are counting down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we will start down with Mr. Geeky with number 5.
Okay, so my number 5 is the IDW.
Hell yeah.
I'm pulling it right back at you. We're IDW characters, not just Last Ronin, but we're talking like the main series. So if I were to say a character to start with, how about Old Hob? But really any. Right. I mean, to me, I'm more. I want to see all the characters we've never seen yet in toy form.
We have a run-in. I can't believe. All right. What's up, Tussler?
Hey, he did it. He did it.
How's it
Just in
going?
time. Quickly, give us 15 figures. We need best, least best, and anticipated.
You know what, Tussler, you can get in on this. I'm gonna move you one over. So we'll go Mr. Geeky, we'll go Tussler, we'll go Dan up to me. Top 5 fantasy booking. So you can pick a figure that you want to see coming out or a toy line you want to see coming out. Mr. Geeky started with IDW, emphasizing on Old Hob, and you got a better camera. I'm proud of you, David.
This is just my phone.
Did you get a better
That
phone?
works.
No, I don't know. Maybe it decided to work better this time.
All right, I'll take it. All right, Mr.
Look great.
Geeky, you want to finish that up your thought? Sorry.
I don't know. I mean, it's every IDW character, but I mean, yeah, old Hob. But I mean, I'm not gonna scoff if we get a Sally Pride or if we get a Giant Slash or if we get a Jenica.
Yeah.
Or
all the IDW.
I'm just throwing out names because I want to say all the names. That's it. But I mean,
all right, solid choice. David, what is your number 5?
Well, I can't really disagree with the one with IDW. A Dark Leo, even all the Dark Turtles would be great. And then some of the stuff that's coming out currently in the storyline, great character potentials.
Oh, hell yeah.
So, yeah, let's go with the Dark Turtles from the IDW storyline. So their cost, their design and stuff it's great. And I'd love figures of that.
All right. Dan.
I'm not going to go along with IDW. I have no input on that at all. I think I'm gonna go the opposite side of the spectrum on this one. This one is more for my son, but I'm also a fan. I know we've gotten this in figure form once, kind of, but I need an individual release. Give me an Ice Cream Kitty.
Oh.
I don't care how you do it. I don't care how big or little it is. Scale means nothing to me. I need an Ice Cream Kitty.
I think Mega Bloks did one.
I was going to say, Dan, you got to get that Mega Block set because it scales brilliantly with the 2012.
It's also on the
figure.
pizza thrower, right?
No, it's...
what am I thinking of?
I'll send you a link afterwards.
Okay, please.
There was going to be. There was prototype form. They were they were going to do it with Dr. Cluckenstein and...
Yeah, it was a 3-pack. Okay. Yeah, Dr. Cluckenstein.
Either way, give me another one. Give me a 2023 release for Ice Cream Kitty.
I'm going to go with the Super 7 producing Super Mutants. Specifically, I want Super 7 to give me a god dang Turtle Saint. Because
you knew that was going to be on mine.
It'd be shiny. It'd be awesome. I am all for it. So my number 5 goes to a sweet Super 7 rendition of the Super Mutants, or just give me Turtle Saint because I know I'm never going to find one. I'm already working on a custom, but I figure by the time I finish the custom, we'll probably get that sweet Super 7 Turtle Saint. With that, we move on to number 4.
Yeah, I mean, I think that just kind of going on there for a second with the Turtle Saint. That's that's also very much something that just is easy to see that happening because it's such in their wheelhouse to do.
Oh, yeah.
It's a big, big kaiju style character.
Right.
Okay, so from Mirage, this is I'll refrain from saying everything from Mirage, even though I really want to say everything.
Nothing wrong with that.
Well, I'm going to say Savante Romero.
Hell yeah.
If I can say more, I'll say more. But Savante Romero is the top of the ones that I'd like from Mirage because this is a classic Savante, and it's also just like he doesn't get acknowledged as a big of a threat that he is, and he's a great villain. So
Hell yeah.
That's my pick.
All right, David.
Well, since I've just kind of was on a spot here, but you saying the Super Saint just made me think of what was the line of the vintage turtles with the transforming armor? But Super 7 could do that because I have the Michelangelo with the Beetle armor. And if I can get a Super 7 version of that.
Was that Super Samurai Turtles?
I can't remember what that subline was called, but they had those really chromed out pieces of armor that turned into animals. But yeah, a Super 7 version of the Michelangelo one, because I have the classic one up on my shelf when I was a kid, and that'd be so cool.
I'm trying to find.
100% agree. Well, and it's if you watch from so a lot of it was based off of the anime too. So and there was they had the versions of that in, I want to say it was the second episode. Right? Maybe, I don't know. It wasn't out for very long. So,
yeah.
Either the first episode or was the second one. But those designs were great. And
I mean, I just thought it was so cool as a kid, that all that armor coming off, forming an animal, but then going back on and just, looking like a really cool figure. But all that chrome and stuff, I'm surprised I kept all the pieces throughout the years, but I got them complete on my shelf.
I'm looking right now. Dan. Oh, it was Metal Mutants.
Mutants, okay. Yeah, my number 4 for Most Wanted. I mean, I think this is a gimme. I think this is obviously happening. But just to be certain, I wanted to include it on the list. I need more Universal Monsters. I put my 7-year-old to son every night, and our routine is brush his teeth, we read a story, and then we jump into bed, or he jumps into bed, and then we talk about your day. Well, yeah, they're there. And sometimes he will ask, instead of reading a story, can we talk? And one of the things he likes to talk about is he likes to fantasy book who he would want in the Universal Monster line.
That's awesome.
So he'll just come up with his own ideas. He wants Razor as the werewolf, Toka as the as Swamp Thing, Shredder he needs as the vampire because Splinter is the vampire hunter. He lists and lists and lists the many different iterations of different Universal monsters. So I'm just hoping for his sake that they keep on going with this line.
Hell yeah.
He'll be happy. I'll say that.
Oh, I like that. Okay, I like that.
We're on number 3. Yes, 4.
Number 4. This is 4.
Number 4. All right. And mine 2 goes to the IDW Turtles. Specifically the IDW Turtles. I would like any of the characters from that whole entire series because there's some insanely cool characters, but specifically an IDW rendition of the Turtles. With that being said, we go on to number 3. So, Mr. Geeky, we speed rounded that last one. That was awesome.
I would say from Universal Monsters, I'd love to see them tackle some of the characters from other iterations that are like more character, like horror character like. So, for instance, someone like Creep or Bloodsucker or Monster X or Terror Bears, right? There's so many different great horror characters where to me this would like Leather Crane, right? So in this particular, I'm going to say Monster X because to me it's just like here's all the movie monsters in one, So
boom, done.
Yeah, exactly. So like I feel like I want to see it in Archie. I want to see it in Archie form too. But here it's like I would love to see what they could do with it in this like horror-y kind of look to it. This aesthetic would be really neat.
Jamie, brilliant. Mondo Gecko as the creature from the Black Lagoon. Ooh.
Yeah.
That's
really cool.
Anyways, moving on. Mr. Tussler, what's your number 3?
A character that I would like to really, really get a Ninjara.
Right?
You know, that's just one of my favorite characters from the Archie series, and an actual figure of that character would be fantastic.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Dan.
My number 3 is, it's a product that would probably fit better in the Super 7 line, but because NECA is the one that has the street diorama, it's got to be a NECA accessory. I would like, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a cartoon accessory pack, but if it were, I would like these to be included. I need 2 telephone poles with the lines that go across to attach to my street diorama.
That'd be
That
cool.
matches, I wish I had them here, that matches the ones from the original playset. You know what I mean? The swinging power line ones.
I don't have my light on over there.
That's okay.
There's actually a fellow who makes those on Etsy. I'll send you a
To
link.
attach to the street diorama?
Really?
Wow.
I was like,
Wow.
that's really cool. I'm like, oh, I don't need those.
Right, I'll be busy for the next 10 minutes. Talk to you
Right.
later.
Yeah.
Moving on up my list is something that I am 99.9583% sure that is coming sooner than later. We got the VHS box set of 1. We got the VHS box set of 2. Give me them samurai turtles. I need that bright yellow box art. Like, let's
Get it over with,
complete
yeah.
the trio, like, but end it strong. Don't give us the unarmored turtles. Do the samurai turtles, you cowards. If you're gonna put out a rendition in the VHS box set, I feel like they have to have the samurai armor. You know, throw in an accessory of the kite that represents, you know, Mikey hanging out with Yoshi. Like, you know, throw in those little homages to them outside of the gear. But, you know, give us those sweet samurai turtles. Maybe throw in a little gatefold box that, you know, when you open it up, it plays a little Baltimore Tarzan boy like the trailer. You know, getting Tony Khan in trouble. If you're a wrestling fan, you get that. If not, I'm sorry. But yeah, give us that sweet Turtles number 3 VHS box set, and for the love of God, make it match the rest. Moving on to number 2, Mr. Geeky.
All right. So this one's gonna be from Archie. I'd love to see a crying hound. And this is like, you know, this is my sly cheat of kind of going around saying I want all the wrestling crew, because I know that, you know, there's no way that NECA wouldn't also be making the wrestling turtles, Stump Asteroid, Cuddly, and like all those other wrestling characters if we got a crying hound. So I want crying hound, but I know if we get him, we're also getting the rest. So that's my.
This is true. All right, Mr. Tussler.
All right, so I'm going to play off of your idea a little bit, Dave. You know, they're probably going to make a cassette display of the 3rd movie.
Yes.
I also want one from the TMNT animated movie.
Ooh.
You know,
TMNT.
NECA revitalizing those character designs.
That's cool.
You know, I think that would be really cool. I really enjoyed that movie. It was the first movie I ever took my son to when he was 3, and so it just has a special place in my memories of having a good time and just really enjoying it. And I like those designs. So if you can get the 4-pack to match up with the other movie display boxes, it would be great.
Hell yeah. Oh, I was gonna say you got to
Yeah, hold up. Yeah. You're saying the 2007, right?
Yep.
TMNT.
Yeah, no, I've got a whole shelf of them sitting up there, and they're actually the toys that my son played with. So
Nice.
they've got dings and beat up marks, but they're sentimental because that's what my son was playing with when he was little. You know, he would just grab them and smash them together because they were fighting.
Hell yeah. I want a 4-pack of Samurai Guards the Turtle switch places with so they can have hockey gear.
Oh, that's a great call.
Dan.
That may be my pick. I take my kids' Universal Monsters and I display them prominently in the home around Halloween. During Christmas time, I have the NECA Gremlin set with the Santa Gremlin, with the Christmas Caroling Gremlins, blah blah blah. For the love of God, just give me a holiday set of 4 turtles, right? Give me the cartoon set. Give me, Donnie in a Santa hat. Give me Elf Michelangelo. Give me Leonardo with a reindeer hat. These are layups.
That'd be awesome.
Right.
Leo with a dreidel.
Well, there you go. Include everybody. Right.
They
Give
had
me
the
something to put
holiday
out there during the Christmas season.
Yeah. I do. Just turtles with Christmas sweaters would be amazing.
That'd be perfect. Absolutely.
You could replicate the Michelangelo from the Mirage issue.
Yep, and the puffy coat where he goes up and gets punk. Hell yeah.
It comes with a little clunk.
Yeah, right. My number 2 specifically. Nah, screw it. Not specifically. Give me any modern iteration of the 2012 Turtles. NECA, Super 7, Dear Santa. I mean, I want to say specifically, give me the 4 brothers in a highly articulated. I know we have the Rebel Techs, but I'm terrified of those toys. They're great, but like I pose them and I'm like, I would love to see Super 7 take a crack at them. I would love to see NECA take a crack at them with their accuracy to model. There's so many characters. It's kind of the same thing with IDW.
Yeah.
If you can get me the 4 brothers, great. Ideally, the 4 brothers, Splinter. Basically, give me the 10 back. Give me the 10 back. April.
Yeah.
Let's get Bebop, Rocksteady, Shredder, Splinter, because sweet Sassy Molassy, like highest on that 2012 list. And there's a lot of amazing characters, but give me a 2012 Splinter.
Yeah, and if they could also scale them all to the correct proportions. Yeah.
My goodness.
What, you don't want your Slash smaller than...
No.
I'm working on a big boy, but my buddy's printing it, so we'll see. All right. That already has us at number 1.
We have arrived.
So, Mr. Geeky.
Okay. Well, see, here's the deal. I had one for my number 1. And now with you doing the 2000, you're doing the whole lines. I'm like, oh, maybe I should do.
I specified. I went to Splinter.
Okay. All right. So if we're doing one, it'll be Gadget Man from Fred Wolf. Because that is such a fun looking character. And it's just like, it's the old. I'd say the old version. I'd love to get the young version too, but the old version is like it's just like this retired superhero that the whole episode was great. That where it's as a recursive, like a refresher, it's like Shredder hires this old superhero to like basically solve crimes around town to try and get the turtles out of his hair so they can do crimes. That's the young version. That's the young version. There we go. That's what I'm talking about.
This is your number 1. That's unbelievable.
Oh my gosh, I would look at that as a figure. It would look so fun.
Great figure.
Even his pouches sag.
I like the old man version is cool. I like that. I don't think it's going to be a hot seller. Just a gray superhero, possibly an old man gray superhero. But I love the idea.
An old priest and a young priest. A solid choice, Mr. Geeky, that came out of left field. I like it. Mr. Tussler, what tops your list?
Well, I'm just going to go with some characters that I would think would be fantastic characters, but I'm going to go with the Pantheon from the IDW comics.
Oh, damn. Right
you
on.
Get a set of those, and that'd be a fantastic display.
With light up eyes.
Yes. I mean, just imagine that creepy Rat King,
I am, and I don't like
one of the coolest designs, and he's just creepy. And
is. I will say, the 2012 Rat King, I think, beats him out as far as creepy design, but it is bad.
I will take all of the Rat Kings. They're all...
Super 7 hasn't done a Rat King.
But then you can get that big giant figure, that man moth,
right?
Big mammoth guy. There's just so many cool characters in there. It'd make a great display set.
All right, Dan.
My number 1. I don't think they're going to do this. I don't think this is I don't know. In my opinion, business-wise, it makes sense, but I don't know that I don't think they would go down this road. The turtle van it's huge, and what did the turtle van cost us? Like $250, $300, something like that.
Something like
Which
that.
one?
Yeah. The either one. If you go to Super 7, you're talking about like the Thundercats tank. That was like $400, $500, the size of a coffee table. Where do you put this stuff? What I'd like NECA to do, instead of releasing these giant street dioramas for 100 or 150, give me a smaller interior turtle layer that's like a 12 by 12. I don't want to put made 1979 customs out of business, but basically what he does on a 12 by 12 scale, just mass produce it and sell them for $50. If we could do that, I think it would make people's displays a lot easier to manage. You don't have to find space for these coffee table size pieces, whether it's the table or the layer, or the turtle layer, or the Technodrome. Whenever that stuff comes out, when it comes out, the way that they're picturing it now at Comic-Cons and stuff, it's huge. It's 3 feet across by 1.5 feet back. I don't have room for this stuff, right? I need more manageable stuff for I want it. I want to represent the interiors of all those places, but I can't donate. I can't have a Ninja Turtle room in my house because that's the only place I can put all these giant pieces.
That's what the living room's for.
Right. I'm looking at all three of your backgrounds. It's like you guys are like, please, I've got space for it right here. Let's go.
You do have an amazing basement you could take over.
That's already filled. That's got too much junk in it.
I look forward to April.
I'm just noticing your bubble bobble, and that's amazing. Sorry, continue.
That's been there on every screen. That's a Bubble Bobble slot machine.
That's awesome.
Up here is Bubble Bobble 1 and 2 in the box.
Hold on.
I love Bubble Bobble.
And now I got the song stuck in my head. Yeah.
Bubble Bubble.
When you hit a jackpot on the machine, it plays the Bubble Bobble like theme song. It's great. Sure, that's my number one. Bubble Bobble action figures.
Wait, everyone doesn't have a room dedicated to turtles? I have a shelf. It's over there. I really need to start recording in front of me. My number one was guessed very early on in the stream by a few people in the chat, but it goes to doing a box set of the Wrestling Turtles in a box set that is Cuddly the Cowlick, so that you can put him in the display. Realistically, as I mentioned in my most anticipated figures, it's pretty. Did we lose Mr. Geeky? I'm gonna just remove him from the stream. I'll add him back in when he starts moving again. But it goes to Archie. It will always end up going back to Archie. Specifically the Wrestling Turtles have a special place in my heart. Mr. Geeky just completely disappeared, so he'll be back, I'm sure.
Great.
But yeah, I really want that 4-pack of Turtles. Like I said, make the box Cuddly the Cowlick so that we can get him. I don't think we're gonna get a 3-dimensional Cuddly the Cowlick anytime soon in scale.
No, that would be a large chunk of plastic.
Mitch says the lack of Venus is distressing. Mitch, the Venus figure could come in any iteration of the IDW Turtles. That several.
Oh yeah, the Venus one from the IDW. That's such a cool design.
Right.
I'd love a figure of that.
Mike, I haven't ever used Entertainment Earth. I'm guessing they're pretty good. Oh, there we go. I have a couch dedicated to Loose TM and 2 figures. Nice. Yeah. So my number one fantasy booking. Give me them Wrestling Turtles. If you can throw in Crying Hound and Leatherhead and Ace Duck in their wrestling togs.
Tree and Stump as the announcers. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Even that referee guy would be cool.
Right?
Yep.
Who wants a referee?
Easy.
Sorry.
I've been told specifically referees do not sell.
Which is sad because I think they should. I don't know. I've seen you take a couple bumps. Anyways,
different kind of stuff.
Oh, Mr. Geeky has returned.
Hey.
Yeah, my connection is like spotty, so sorry.
Welcome.
You're damn bad. Thanks for everyone for watching. Good night. No. No, but that does wrap up our list. If you have lists, I've seen them popping up in the chat throughout the night. Please leave them in the comments below. I am going to kind of just wrap this up because I am very curious because Mr. Geeky keeps on bringing stuff up, and now I want to pick his brain a little bit off there so we don't get in trouble. But sincerely, I do want to thank everybody for stopping by for Turtle Talk. If you liked these lists, please let us know. Like I said, leave a like, leave a comment, drop a message. All our social media links are in the video description below. Yeah, there's a bunch more Shelltacular puns. There's a bunch of really fun Turtle content that's going to be coming up here on the channel, as well as Mr. Geeky's channel. One of those episodes debuted right before this. Thundercats was right before this. Anyway, there's a lot of fantastic content over on Mr. Geeky's channel. Make sure to go over and check it out. Again, his social media links are in the video description below. Tussler doesn't like to be found on the internet, so I just leave him.
I don't have anything on the internet.
I keep trying to convince Dan to get back on the Instagrams, but someday. As always, you can find me on Instagram at the Dave Wheeler. You can find me on Twitter at Dave Wheeler. You can find me on Hive at Dave Wonder, or go check out all the links over at davewonder.com. As always, like, follow, subscribe, hit the bell notification so you're notified whenever we go live here on the channel for such awesome content as Turtle Talk. But yeah, as always, thank you to Dan, thank you to Geeky, thank you to Mr. Tussler down there for swinging on by and hanging out tonight. It's always a pleasure. Thank you to the COJ for being insane. I love all you guys. Thank you so much for being a part of this ridiculous adventure. I really do appreciate it. You know that. Thank you to Mitch for being the mod with the most. And my throat is almost completely dry. So, as always, much love for Minnesota. Have a shell of a night. Good night, everybody.
Happy holidays.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That too. That one up. Later. Mr. Geeky, we're totally off air.
Give us the dirt.
No way.
And that's